This is BBC One for the Midlands.
More jobs on offer, but are they real jobs? And Mr. News Bunny faces the music in court. Good afternoon. There's been a small drop in the number of people out of work in the Midlands, but critics say the figures are distorted by training schemes and casual working. The seasonally adjusted figure fell by just 500 to 195,200. That's 7.8% of the workforce. Nearly half the people left the dole queue for part-time jobs.
Today's figures show the jobs recovery overall has become stunted, but the leisure industry remains healthy. Wyvale Garden Centre in Hereford is one of a chain of 50. In the past 10 years, it's trebled staff levels from 500 to 1,500 and says 70% of them are full-time. Alex Palmer, who's 25, is sure of his prospects.
As a management trainee, very good. The company's expanding very, very quickly, and the opportunities that have been open to me are very, very good. I've actually been appointed in the buying department, in head office, buying giftware.
Those not on the management ladder might find life harder. Research shows half the new jobs in the Midlands have been part-time with low pay.
There is an increase certainly in part-time working, and with that some of those jobs are not necessarily very well paid. Particularly there are lots of females who are seeking part-time work and who are being offered part-time work for relatively low wages.
At 20, David Edwards was looking for full-time work but took a few hours at a Coventry supermarket because he needed the £70 a week it paid.
It's worrying about paying the bills. Got to pay the bills. Anything's better than nothing at the moment.
But with employers finding orders flat at home and abroad, even part-time work could be difficult to find in the coming months.
Beef farmers from the Midlands have travelled to Westminster today to demonstrate outside the Houses of Parliament. Their protest at the European ban on beef coincides with the visit of the French President Jacques Chirac. They're demanding his support for Britain's attempts today to have the ban lifted. But while beef farmers are counting the cost of the BSE crisis, farmers in the pig and poultry industries appear to be benefiting. Thousands of them have gathered at Stoneleigh in Warwickshire today for the biggest pig and poultry fair in the country. There were protests there too, but not about a lack of trade.
Protesters were the first to greet visitors this morning as the two-day fair opened. It's the largest event of its kind for the pig and poultry industry and attracts 20,000 visitors, including several hundred from overseas. This year's fair comes as the industry is enjoying record prices for chicken and pork, record exports and rising demand.
At the moment, prices are very good, and they have been for some time. And then, of course, there has been a slight boost because of people turning to pig meat because of the BSE crisis.
On show is just about everything for the pig and poultry producer: equipment, housing, feeds and advice on selling animals and their processing into the various meat products. One of the challenges facing producers is the need to change the way they house and farm pigs by 1999. Britain's banning what's known as the stall and tether, seen as old-fashioned, while the rest of Europe can keep them. The cost to farmers will be around £20 million.
2 people have been arrested in connection with the murder of a man found dead in Northampton. His body was discovered last night between Kingsthorpe and Kings Heath. He died from head injuries. The man hasn't been formally identified. An MP is warning that the closure of a Stoke-on-Trent coal mine will have serious economic consequences. The company running Hem Heath Colliery went into administration in February. Now 200 workers have been told their jobs will go within a fortnight. The Labour MP for Stoke-on-Trent Central, Mark Fisher, claims it'll have a knock-on effect for industry throughout North Staffordshire. Thousands of Rolls-Royce workers are being balloted on a new deal which could end the company's long-running pay dispute. More than 4,000 manual workers at the company's Derby plant have been refusing to work overtime since last September. They've turned down a series of pay offers, the latest a month ago. The new deal involves a one-off payment and increased holiday. Shop stewards are advising their members to accept the deal. Cricket and Warwickshire have been drawn against Glamorgan in the quarter-finals of cricket's Benson and Hedges Cup, the team they whitewashed in last year's NatWest Trophy semi-finals. Of the other Midlands teams through to the last 8, Northants are at home to Kent and Gloucestershire face the champions, Lancashire. A man who brought traffic to a standstill in Tamworth while dressed as a rabbit has appeared in court. News Bunny had been a candidate in the Staffordshire South East by-election. Today he pleaded guilty to wilful obstruction and was ordered to pay £50 costs. Peter Wilson reports.
News Bunny looked rather sheepish when he turned up at court this morning, having decided to leave his rabbit costume at home. Formerly known as Ashley Hames, News Bunny had stood as a parliamentary candidate at the recent by-election in South East Staffordshire. On polling day, he was arrested after staging a protest against cars. The police moved in after a crowd appeared to threaten public order. It was a quiet, subdued Bunny, a "I won't do that again" Bunny, who stood up in court. The magistrates appeared to find it difficult to understand why anyone should want to change their name to News Bunny, but they did address him as such. Keith Underwood, the chairman of the magistrates, warned him not to commit any similar offences in the next 12 months. The 25-year-old man with a degree from Bristol University appeared relieved when he came out with his Mirror Group lawyer, but he quickly hopped onto the offensive.
I've still made my point, and I know that there's a lot of furry creatures, not just rabbits, but you know, hedgehogs, and also those owls that fly across our roads at night. They can sleep safer now, knowing that someone's made a point, and that those cars perhaps had better watch out. There's a lot of furry animals out there. Take care.
Are you going to be a good bunny from now on?
I've definitely got to be a good bunny for at least a year, so I'm going to be tucking myself into bed earlier.
News Bunny admitted that his present job wasn't exactly stretching his talents and that he might want to burrow out of the hole that he appears to be in. The magistrates today accepted that he'd acted out of character.
Time to look at the weather now. Here's Shefali.
Thank you, Sue. Well, we started off well, but unfortunately the real story unfolds. The cold front I mentioned yesterday, that's to the north of us, is now edging southwards, so it's a cloudier picture for all this afternoon. You might even catch a spot or two of rain in the wind as well, and that's highly likely seeing as it's quite a breezy day today. We've got a 15-mile-per-hour northeasterly. Now that's going to drag temperatures down even lower than 12 Celsius, so it's going to feel noticeably cooler than yesterday. But as far as tonight goes, it's just as cold as last night. The minimum we've got is 1 Celsius. And that's due to the rain and cloud clearing the entire region. Also, the winds are much lighter tonight, breezing in at just 5 miles per hour from the northeast, which means conditions are just perfect for a touch of ground frost. And finally then tomorrow, apart from lighter winds, the same scenario as today, dry and sunny to start off with, cloudy, cold and showery later. That's it from me for now.
And that's it this Wednesday lunchtime. Later in Midlands Today, Inside Sport looks at the world of rhythmic gymnastics. For a long time, the poor relation of the gymnastics world. But for now, from all of us here, have a very good afternoon.